Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Ed, and we're going to do something a little bit differently today. I have my hands on the reMarkable Paper Pro, and we're going to talk a little bit about this device. I haven't had it long. I just received it from reMarkable a couple of days ago. They were very kind to send this out for review, and they managed to give me pretty much everything you can think of. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you the unboxing as I'm having this discussion, and you can see me unboxing all of the different components and just kind of walk you through what I think of the device after using it for less than a day and a half. So first of all, I've watched a ton of videos from Voya, from Kid, David over at Tablet Tech, where they've taken you through the unboxing experience for reMarkable, and even going back as far as JB, Glossinger, and Brandon Boswell. And I was expecting an Apple-like experience, and that's exactly what I got. The materials, the packaging, no use of plastic, all wax or cardboard, even the little touches like a pull tab or a zip tab to pull off to have that available to you. Just the experience overall was phenomenal. So that is just absolutely what I expected. What I also think is just great is all of the accessories. Now, I know that this tablet is very pricey, so this is not going to be for, I was lucky enough, they sent me the Marker Plus, they sent me the keyboard folio, the book cover folio, all of that with the Paper Pro. And when I was in conversation with them, they said, what would you prefer to get? And I told them I was a little torn. I wasn't sure if I wanted the Paper Pure, which is their newest device, or whether I wanted to see Gallery, because I've never seen a Gallery device in person. So as you're seeing me unbox this and you're seeing me go through and take out the pen and so on, it's me really looking at something new for the first time in a long time. I mean, I've gotten Kaleido panels, several of them now. I've gotten Carta 1300, several of them now, but I've never had a gallery device. And so to me, that was unique, and I wanted to see it. And I told them I was torn between those two things, and they had a really good conversation with me, and they settled on saying, we'd like to send you the Paper Pro because we think you'll find it the most interesting because it's larger, so it may fit your academic use case. It does have color in case you need to use that. And it has this different technology you've never been exposed to. So I really want to shout out to them and say thank you for that, because it wasn't just, hey, let's go ahead and send you a device or the device we're pushing in the moment. It was, what device might fit you? And I think that's something I talk a lot about on my channel, is picking the right technology for you. And the fact that reMarkable was willing to take the time to try to figure out which device might be best for me to see first, because the software experience is going to be almost the same software. It's kind of like the Supernote platform, where regardless of what device you have, the software is the same. It's the hardware and the attention to detail that make all of the difference. So, you know, like I said, we're going to have the unboxing going, but I want to tell you just a few things that stood out to me as I used this. And right now I've got it in the keyboard case. And primarily the reason I have it in the keyboard case is because I see no downside to the keyboard case. The book folio is great, but it doesn't have the keyboard. So is this a little heavier? Absolutely. I love that it has this flap, which they've shown a million times. It's an excellent design. All of the things about it just scream a premium device. The build quality, the folio, the canvas on it, the subtlety of the reMarkable logo. And that made it very fun to carry at work today, because I noticed a few people looking at it. They always look at my Supernote too, at the Manta, but this one just is more substantial because of the size and because of just how sleek it is, even though it's thicker than some of the other reMarkable tablets, especially when you have it in this keyboard folio. But again, there's no downside to the keyboard folio to me, because the way they've constructed it and hidden it, it is best in class. And I just think it's really, really well done. So let's talk about some of the things I really like. And we won't go through all of the specs. I'm not going to do a top-down demo. I'm going to continue to let the unboxing piece play up in the corner so you can see it. But I really want to talk about some of the things that intrigued me and that I think will be a frustration point for some people. So let's first talk about the positives. Obviously, I already talked about this component, which I think is fabulous. Also, the simplicity of being able to pull out and slide out that keyboard case is excellent. The Marker Plus has surprised me. It's very nice to write with. The writing feel on the device is exceptional. I think it's still a little bit behind for me of the Supernote, but primarily that comes down to my use case and also the fact that the Feel Right 2 just has a unique texture with the ceramic nib. I'll confirm anyone who has said that this is like writing on paper, that's probably the closest experience you're going to get. To me, it feels like I'm writing on one, maybe a second sheet of paper, but pretty much one sheet of paper on a hard desk. And it's not my favorite experience, but it's the closest one I've found so far to if I just had a sheet of paper on a desk and was writing on it. So to me, that's a win. That's what they're going for. And that's what people who buy this device and want this device are wanting to experience. So I think they nail it. Another thing that's really nice about the device is the ease of setup. It really was super easy, super intuitive to set it up. You do 90% of it on the web and you just go right through and enter the code and it goes ahead, sets up your account, does all of the different things. So the writing field, the materials, the build quality, the stylus, all of that phenomenal. And I think that they really nail what they're doing here. Now, there are a couple of downsides so far, just in a day of using it. One being that the flashing, and I'll do a video on this where I show more in depth, and I'm also going to grade with this. And there are a few things that I'm noticing out of the gate that are different. There's no way to embed comments like you can in other PDFs and other platforms. So for someone who does that for accessibility reasons for students, that's a downside. However, the ability, the ease of use to get things on and off the device, the partner app, phenomenal. It's so easy to get that on here. The snapping for highlighting, all of these things are really well done and implemented, but the flashing is consistent. And I'm on the beta, so the red and the black don't flash, but you still have that flash. If you have any color content on a page and you go to move that page, you're going to deal with flashing. Even if you're scrolling down using the infinite scroll, you're going to see it flash multiple times. Anytime you have color, even if it's a highlight, even if it's one marker, you're going to have the flashing of that whole page every time you move something. And that's both distracting and a little off-putting. And it's not like localized rendering or localized flashing. It's flashing of the entire page, at least on my device. So that I could see as being a really big pain point for a lot of people. And I think that's one of the reasons I was a little concerned about using it. Now, once I grade a paper, I took notes on it today in black and it was fabulous. It worked really well. We'll find out once I grade a paper and go through that process and try to figure out how to replicate my process with that and maybe do it a little differently even. Then I think that we'll know for sure what this is going to look like for me overall. Now, the other thing is the elephant in the room. reMarkable was kind enough to give me a Connect subscription so that I could use the full functionality of the tablet, and I thank them for that. But at the same time, for the first 8 to 9 hours, actually through my meeting today, I didn't have the Connect subscription. They hadn't activated that yet. And I wanted to see how the device felt without the Connect subscription. And there's a lot of limitations, a lot more than you realize. And I know David has done a great job of outlining what those are and showing kind of the value of it. And I do think there's value there if you need some of these things. But I also think some of the things really shouldn't be behind a paywall. So for me, once that was unlocked, I saw even more potential with this device. And that included looking at things like the calendar meetings. So having a meeting note from your calendar, being able to connect your calendar in that way is awesome because you can connect up to 3 calendars and then you just start a note right from there. It goes into a meeting folder, but you can move it then into your main folder. So not a lot of friction there. And if you had multiple meetings, you could go ahead, cycle through that, create a new note each time, and then go back, tag it, and move it where you want it to be. So it's very elegant the way they're doing it. I do wish there was a way to see upcoming events or previous events, but you kind of have that meeting note if you're using that. So you're not losing too much there. But to me, that's a really elegant feature. Also, the handwriting recognition and the handwriting search. Again, those are things that are locked behind the paywall. Also, any of the custom templates. There's a lot with that Connect subscription. And I think that if you need all of those things, then it's well worth the money. I was always a skeptic, but I never really said it wasn't worth the money. It is worth the money to some folks. The idea, though, is you've already paid, if you get the keyboard folio and all, around $800 for this device, and now you're paying a monthly fee for some things that are capable to be done without separate hosting or without separate integrations that can't be done on the device. So to me, very interesting. I will say the handwriting recognition is phenomenal. The search is excellent on this device. It's very fast. It's very snappy. It is a quality device. And I look forward to bringing more content on it. I am going to daily drive this for a little bit. It's going to be a little shock to my system, but I'm going to do that because, again, I want to see and give every device I review, every device I talk about, as fair of an assessment as I can. And I think that out of the gate, this is both going to be my test case for how does Gallery 3 work and how does the reMarkable software work. And I'm going to make a distinction there because what I don't want to do is hold the hardware of the screen against the software of the platform. So I'm going to kind of talk about those in different ways because I think that your experience is going to vastly vary between this, the smaller footprint of the reMarkable Paper Pro Move, and the Paper Pure, because they're just such different devices from a hardware perspective. The Move is pretty much like this one, only smaller, but I think from what I've seen, that helps with the brightness of the screen. It helps with the refresh rate. It isn't as disturbing. So, again, I'm going to give this not a pass on the hardware, and we'll talk about the screen, but I'm also going to be really deep diving into all of the functionality you get with this platform. How can I really maximize it and try to do the things that I want to do? I'm not going to mod it, at least not at this point. What Mitchell and the other developers in the reMarkable community are doing is phenomenal, and reManager is wonderful. You can check out my video on reManager, my discussion with Mitchell about that. But I'm not going to mod it. I want to get used to this device, how it was intended to be used with the newest integrations and the newest beta versions of specific things. I want to do that first because I really want to understand more about what it does. And I'm going to be very clear when I do my review in talking about what's behind the paywall, what's not, and where that may be a point of friction for me in my specific use case. And hopefully what that'll do is help you as you're watching this and trying to, understand more about this platform, and I create more and more content on it. It'll help you understand where your pain points may be, and it'll help you make that decision. Do I want to go with BOOX? Do I want to go with Supernote? Do I want to go with reMarkable? But all I can say at this point, and I'll close with this, is that this is as good as I thought it would be. And some of the functions work so much better than I thought they would that I wouldn't have trouble recommending the reMarkable platform, but I'm not sure about this device yet. And again, I'm going to be very cautious, like I always am, in talking about who a device is for, what the pros are, what the cons are. But so far, I'm very impressed by this device. And I'm very interested in hearing your thoughts, your opinions. What do you want me to do with this device? What do you want me to show you, test, put through my regular standard battery of organizational tools? What do you want to see? So drop down in the comments. Let me know. I appreciate your comments, your thoughts, your suggestions. I reply to every comment. Please keep those coming. We're a community and I want to hear from you. But until next time, thank you all so much and keep on moving forward. I will talk to you soon. Bye now.